Before 1979, music was something you went to. You turned on the radio and you listened to what was playing. You sat in the living room with the record spinning in the corner. If you wanted music on the street, you carried a boombox on your shoulder. Which meant you were sharing it with everyone within 50 feet, whether they wanted it or not. Music was communal by default. Private listening was something you did at home, alone, at night. Then Sony shipped 30,000 units of a small silver device in Japan. And something fundamental about how human beings move through the world began to change. The Walkman TPS-L2. July 1, 1979. It weighed 390 grams, about the same as a can of soup. It cost 33,000 yen, roughly $330 in today's money. It could only play cassette tapes. It had no speakers. It came with a pair of lightweight headphones that looked, by modern standards, like something from a prop department. Sony's internal sales team thought it would fail. The name Walkman was considered embarrassing. Some markets shipped it as the soundabout, the stowaway, the freestyle. The product naming was a mess. They sold out in 2 months. Within 3 years, Sony had sold 15 million units. By the time the Walkman line was discontinued in 2010, the total was 400 million. 400 million people carried this thing. What the Walkman actually invented wasn't portable music. Portable music had existed: radios, transistors, boomboxes. What the Walkman invented was the personal soundtrack. The idea that you could score your own life. Think about what that meant in 1979. You're on a train to work. Before the Walkman, you're in the world, you hear the train, the crowd, the city. After the Walkman, you're in a film. The city is still there, but now there's music under it. You've become the main character of your own commute. Cultural critics at the time found this alarming. There were op-eds about the antisocial quality of the device. People retreating into private worlds on public streets. The headphone as a barrier. The Walkman as the first technology of deliberate disconnection. They weren't wrong about what it was doing. They were just wrong about whether it was bad. What the Walkman gave people, especially young people, was emotional autonomy. The ability to choose what feeling to be in. Running with the right song feels different from running in silence. A commute with Springsteen is different from a commute with Coltrane. The device turned passive experience into something you could shape. And then there was the mixtape. The Walkman made the mixtape meaningful. Before portable players, you'd make a tape and then what? Play it at home, alone. The Walkman made the mixtape a gift you could give someone to carry with them. It made a playlist personal. The 45-minute side A of a cassette became the unit of emotional communication for an entire generation. A good mixtape wasn't just songs. It was an argument. A declaration. The order mattered. The transitions mattered. You were, in a very real sense, scoring someone else's life. There's no Spotify playlist that carries the same weight. Because there was no friction in making it. Through the 1980s, the Walkman became the defining consumer technology of a decade. Sony iterated relentlessly, 150 different models in the first 10 years. Waterproof Walkmans. Solar-powered Walkmans. Walkmans with AM/FM radio. The product became a category. Walkman entered the Oxford English Dictionary as a generic noun. Which terrified Sony's lawyers and meant they'd won everything. By 1989, the Walkman's 10th birthday, 1 in 5 American households owned one. The death came slowly, then all at once. The CD Discman in 1984 was the first crack, better audio quality, but it skipped if you moved too fast. The MiniDisc in 1992 was Sony's attempt to bridge that gap, and it nearly succeeded. Nearly. But the killing blow was invisible until it had already landed. In 1999, Napster. In 2001, the iPod. The iPod didn't just play music better than the Walkman. It made the cassette tape's central ritual. Side-switching, rewinding, the physical relationship with a recording. Feel like work. 1,000 songs in your pocket. Instant search. No tape to flip. The Walkman's last cassette player sold in Japan in 2010. By then, the device that had sold 400 million units was effectively a museum piece. Here's why the Walkman still matters. Every time you put in earbuds before a run, you are doing something the Walkman taught the world to do. The personal soundtrack is now so fundamental to how we move through life that we've forgotten someone had to invent it. Apple understood this. The original iPod ads, silhouette figures dancing against bright colors, white earbuds, were the Walkman's visual language, updated for a new device. Steve Jobs didn't just sell a music player. He sold the feeling the Walkman had already trained 2 decades of consumers to want. The AirPods in your ears right now are the 4th or 5th iteration of an idea that a team at Sony in Tokyo had in 1978. That music and movement belonged together. And the only thing between you and that experience was something small enough to carry. The Walkman is gone. The idea it introduced is everywhere. What we carried. Every 2 weeks, a device that changed how we lived, not just what we could do. Next, the MiniDisc. Sony's near-perfect follow-up to the Walkman. And the one device that should have killed the MP3, but didn't. Signal noise. At Signal Noise Technology.